And Chris has been, he's been to my place a handful of times. We turkey hunt every spring.
Well, hey, isn't it funny how Chris has never mentioned anything
Chris
about
has never
this?
said a word.
Not a word. It's
There's
just
a reason.
I gotta go up
He
to
talks
Kevin's.
about the
It's
deer
never-
and the ducks, but it's
Now
like
it's
radio
this
silence
pristine
in
turkey
springtime.
farm up there, yeah.
Hey, let's not sugarcoat it, okay? First of all, that's true.
Here at Mossy Oak, one of our core philosophies is about time. We believe time will always be our most valuable asset, and one of our greatest blessings in life is the time we get to spend in nature. Now, it's not just our responsibility, it's our privilege to protect and nourish the wildlife and resources that make it all possible. A selfless commitment to give back more than you receive and leave things better for the future. That's what it means to be a gamekeeper. Join us each week as we focus on the wildlife we all love and explore the practices and the people who are making a difference in our quest to become a better gamekeeper. The Gamekeepers of Mossy Oak is presented by Tractor Supply Company for life out here and LS Tractor. Start blue, stay blue.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, welcome to West Point, Mississippi, home of the Mossy Oak brand camo, the Gamekeeper podcast, which we're going to start saying is the heart and soul of wildlife conservation.
I like it.
That's bold.
That is bold.
It is.
Well, we've always said the Gamekeepers is the official brand of
It's
wildlife.
the heart and soul of my wildlife conservation.
Today, we've got KVD, we've got Kevin VanDam.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Gamekeeper extraordinaire.
I'm here, guys.
There he is.
Wow, he speaks.
Just listening to all the riffraff in the background.
There's a lot of that around
That's
here.
a great description, Kevin.
Well, speaking of riffraff, we've also got Chris Paradise in
Ah.
the background.
I'm honored to be included with this riffraff.
I'm assuming most people know who he is. He's won the Bassmaster Classic 4 times. He's 7-time Angler of the Year. Reading all these accomplishments, the first thing I want to ask him is, how's your clover looking this year? 'Cause
That's right.
He's a big gamekeeper.
That time of year right now for us to get everything in the ground for fall food plots. We're going to be trying to have everything in the ground, all that biologic, in the next week or so.
Done a little research on Kevin's gamekeeping ability, but what the first thing that jumped out at me, he's 10 years old and he kills a deer with a bow.
Hey.
Now, Lanny,
good
what were you
grief.
doing when you were 10 years old? You were watching cartoons.
I was shooting a bow, but I wasn't connecting.
in the garden or
Yeah,
something.
I wasn't connecting.
In Michigan, when I was a kid, you had to be 10 before you could get a deer license. They made you wait. So it's not like in the South where you can hunt it, whatever age, but you had to have hunter safety. I've been ate up with the outdoors my whole life. My dad took me pheasant and rabbit hunting as a kid. I was the beagle.
Yeah, I know all about that. I still am.
Yeah, send you into the briar patches, to try to kick them out. We lived it every day. I mean, I've been planting food plots since I was a teenager. We learned about it before it was even anybody really knew anything about it, and we were just trying to make it a little bit easier to get a deer close to you. It's
absolutely.
just a lot different now. I've learned a lot over the years.
So, Kevin, have you gone through the whole what we call the phases of a hunter, where you eventually?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, can you talk about that just a little bit?
When I first started deer hunting, it didn't take me long till we were a 4-buck state. You could shoot two bucks with a bow, 2 bucks with a gun, and I shot my 4 bucks every year. I don't care if they were spikes, if it had bone on its head, we shot
down.
it. After a handful of years of that, you learn, I want to try to hold out for, you don't want your season to be over so quick. So you want to hold out for some little bit bigger deer. The trophy pressure kind of changed. And it took a lot of the fun out of hunting over time. And, after I got married, I started to have my boys, it totally changed again. And that's when more about management and it's more about age structure. And what I learned early on is that having the security cover, places where they feel safe, and water and all the other things, way more important. If you want to shoot an older age class deer, That's way more important than the food. But when you put them all together, that's when the magic happens. We do it all. We manage the timber, we manage the fringe habitat. Deer and turkeys are at the top of our list. We're trapping coons and hunting coyotes at night, and you hit those key times when the fawns are dropping or when the turkeys are nesting. You start to see the rewards of that. One of my favorite things to do is get in my skid steer and go in the woods and just knock stuff over.
I understand completely.
It works great.
You resemble that.
I resemble all of those, actually.
If there's a piece of equipment, say they can't be tore up, just let me have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really resemble that remark. Hey, be sure to stay connected with us on both Facebook and Instagram at Mossy Oak Gamekeepers. Be sure to listen to both our podcasts, The Gamekeepers of Mossy Oak and Fistful of Dirt, brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties.
What are some new habitat things you've kind of gotten into or learned about that you've been implementing at your farm?
One of the most successful things that's helped me to get some bigger bucks to feel comfortable and to hang around. If you go into some of these areas that just don't have a lot of value to wildlife, it's soft maple or open woods, and just drop some of those junk trees, just hinge cut them, 2 acre, 1 acre size clear cuts, where we just try to get everything going the same direction in a tangled mess that you can't walk through, you can't see through. Try to use them as almost dot connectors through the property, where you got a string of them. And those like to bed around them. Those bucks like to bed them, and during the rut, they'll cruise between them. That way you can always find good access point between them where you're not bumping deer. That's the 2 most important things is give them security cover that you don't go into, and you can do it in small little spots like that, and then have a way in and out where they don't know you're coming or going. We go in with a leaf blower and blow our trails in the fall so I can get in and out of the woods quietly.
Wow, that's serious.
That's good tips right there.
It's brilliant, actually.
You got to be pretty sneaky, because a deer that's 4 years old here has been through the war. If you bump them out of their bedding area, they'll be nocturnal forever.
As you go into the season, you probably identify a few bucks, but when the rut starts, do you have to worry about losing them?
My best opportunities are typically the beginning of October and the first part of the season, when they're still kind of on that, right, summer pattern. We're primarily hunting 3 and 4 year old deer. And that's just the reality of what we have. If we get lucky and can get a 5-year-old or one that gets a little older than that, we can have some tremendous deer. And Chris has been, he's been to my place a handful of times. We turkey hunt every spring. I do have, the one thing we do really have, we're real blessed with here, is we've got great turkey habitat.
Well, hey, isn't it funny how Chris has never mentioned
Chris
anything
has
about
never
this?
said a word.
Not a word. It's
Man,
just
there's a reason.
I gotta go up
He
to
talks
Kevin's.
about the
It's
deer
never-
and the ducks, but it's
Now
like
he's
radio
this
silence
pristine
in
turkey
springtime.
farm up there, yeah.
Hey, let's not sugarcoat it, okay? First of all, that's true, but I will say, all kidding aside, is I've been going to Kevin's now for a few years, like you said. The amount of work he puts in, predator control, management, on all those places, I have seen a direct correlation. I'm tired of him sending videos about every morning of 20, this is no joke, 20 poults here, 30 poults here,
Wow.
5 over here, and then eight more run into the picture as he's driving around his farms.
What is the one practice you've seen to have the most impact on that? Would it be nest predator management or successional habitat?
If you have a lot of brush piles around the edge and you got good fringe cover where those turkeys can get in there and nest, walking around mushroom hunting in the spring or whatever like that, and all of a sudden a hen goes blowing out of a brush pile that you put there. And then coons and possums for sure, but especially coons, you got to work them over, and we do it, right in that early season before the turkeys actually start nesting. So you can hunt them, with a thermal or something like that. That's a super effective way to do it at night. You can walk around the woods, just do a couple coyote howls and start thermaling the trees, and you'll find all kinds of coons in a hurry that way. Or those dog-proof coon traps are just, to me, awesome. It's the perfect scenario, because you don't have to worry about catching, the neighbor's dog or anything like that. They're really efficient. Put a few marshmallows in there with some strawberry or grape jam in the bottom of it.
Hey, sounds like good coon lure. Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it works. It works really well. And again, that timing is critical. So as fast as you can trap them out, because other people aren't doing it, there's new ones moving in. Mm-hmm. So you give them that couple of weeks and it makes all the difference.
The Gamekeepers of Mossy Oak is presented by Mossy Oak Brand Camo, Native Nurseries and Biologic, Mossy Oak's Gamekeeper Kennels, and Gamekeeper Butchery, Mossy Oak Companions, Mossy Oak Fishing, Mossy Oak Properties, LS Tractors, The Furminator, Spartan Cameras, Nosler Bullets, Loophole Optics, Moultrie Feeders, Duke Traps, Gamekeepers Magazine, and Gamekeepers Fieldwear. Also, Biologic BCP Deer Feed, available at Tractor Supply.
To learn more, check out the Gamekeeper Podcast Library, and specifically these episodes. Subscribe and you won't miss an episode. Did you know that we raise money that goes directly to wildlife research? You can support these projects by purchasing a Mossy Oak wild turkey stamp. With this simple act, you'll demonstrate your dedication to conservation and directly contribute to ongoing wildlife research. Learn more at mossyoak.com. Can we just switch just a little bit, Kevin? Talk about the intensity of being a professional angler and the responsibilities.
I'm pretty competitive by nature, and that's what I love about the tournament fishing, or what drew me to it in the beginning. Is catching them is fun, but to me the thrill is in figuring out the puzzle and trying to do it better and faster than the other guys on any given day. Hunting has always been, that's my release.
I love bass fishing, and this, late fall bite is awesome, but the bucks are starting to scrape, and duck season just opened, and it's just a lot going on, and I love to do it all. And when you fish for a living, hunting is kind of my second pastime. So these mornings like this, it's tough to choose what you're going to do, what you want to do. But water temperature's 55 degrees. It's prime time. Especially where I live up here in Michigan, to catch some good fish. The fish are biting. I hate to leave, but then it's getting up in the afternoon. We got to get around. That's the problem, is I want to be in the deer woods and I want to be catching these bass both. But we got this north wind blowing. Definitely the deer should be moving tonight, so we got to get ready to go.
Well, we fished for a while earlier and caught some really good bass, but we had this strong north wind blowing. We've got a cold front, approaching. It's mid-October. It's kind of that October lull period normally, but we've got a pretty good little setup over some biologic sugar beets and winter bulbs, and the deer have just been hammering it. On my property, we've been working really hard, over the last 10 years to really manage it for all wildlife. We've really got it set up well for turkey for sure, but everything's benefit. This is a unique piece of property. I've got, a trout stream on it. It's got salmon in it right now. We've got a lot of turkey, a lot of deer. We've got some good bucks around. We've got cover, we've got food, and we've got the right weather. So we'll see what happens.
closed captioning is brought to you by Gamekeepers Fieldwear. Discover our premium apparel at select sporting goods retailers or online at gamekeepersfieldwear.com. Subscribe to our Gamekeepers magazine or grab a copy at Bass Pro Shops, Tractor Supply, and Walmart. Hey, to find your favorite place, be sure to talk to the land experts at Mossy Oak Properties. They are the most trusted and proven network for buying or selling rural land in the country, truly serving as America's land specialist.
You know, with these smaller tracts of land, though, we talk about losing bucks, but I guess at the same token, you probably end up seeing bucks during the rut that you've never known about.
Sure,
so
show up.
Somebody, you know, quote unquote, somebody else's.
Basically, once the rut comes, we don't intrude into any of our core areas at all, any of the cover. We hunt the edges, hunt the food plots and things like that. We're planting, a whole smorgasbord of biologic, non-typical clover. That's the standard, right? That is something you have to have all the time. That is the foundational piece of all my food plots. And then brassicas are another key factor. And then on that, I'm mixing it up with, some Outfitters blend, some Last Bite, some deer radishes. I want it to be like when they go to the Outback Steakhouse, you can have a great salad, maybe you get steak, you have some chicken.
Yeah, you said it's smorgasbord.
Like a preacher.
Yeah, that's right, man. You're making me hungry.
Like winter bulbs and sugar beets is my number 2, right? That just provides a ton of forage. But like I'm going to plant maximum side by side in all my plots this year with that to see what they like better. If I was going to plant 2 acres here, I'm going to plant an acre of each next to each other and be able to watch which side the deer, standing in and eating the first.
That's smart.
I'm going to predict right now.
It's gamekeeping, man.
If he's got a lot of phosphorus in his soil or an adequate amount, they're going to just destroy that maximum.
He's analytical. He's used to trying to figure out fish, and he's figuring out.
Yeah, but he's not theoretical. He's going by his own practice. He's been doing it for so long. I learned most of the stuff I have by screwing up, and because you've done it long enough, you see what not to do too.
I look forward to the Gamekeeper magazine every month. There's a lot of great information in there, but what works for you in Mississippi is different in Michigan and Ohio and other areas. But I have learned that, you apply this, you try different things. When I first started planting brassicas, everybody said, well, they don't touch them till after the first frost or whatever. Well, let me tell you, we're at my farm, the second they come out of the ground till then the last bulb is gone, they eat those winter bulbs and sugar beets start to finish. I can't keep them out of it. So I learned real quick that you can't go and plant a half acre and have anything. I learned that the hard way. So my first year, I planted 5 acres and, they ended up being waist tall and I had deer in them from start to finish, with bulbs the size of softballs. So.
Kevin, let's talk ducks for a second. He just doesn't turkey hunt, fish, and deer hunt. We found out that Kevin loves to waterfowl hunt as well.
We're not in a flyway here in Michigan. We don't have a lot of ducks, but where I'm at, we have a little piece of paradise there where 3,000 to 5,000 mallards that use that particular area. We do have a pretty good little spot. And, for Michigan, if you can kill a limit of greenheads anywhere, it's a good day. It's something that my boys love to do. It's what I love about duck hunting is you can sit out there with friends and socialize. It's not like deer hunting where you got to be by yourself and whisper quiet and you can't move. Or even, I love turkey hunting for that because there's a lot of that mixed in between when you're sitting there and,
a lot of intense moments.
You should come deer hunting with Lanny. He talks and moves around the whole time.
Would you tell us a little bit about your sons and them growing up hunting?
I got them into fishing at an early age, got them into the outdoors, and they love to hunt. anything and everything. And just like most kids, you know, they wanted to shoot everything. You know, every deer that walked in, you want to shoot every. You know, what's really, really rewarding to me now is to watch my boys come full circle. So they just turned 25. And they are to the point now where they are gamekeepers. So they do everything with me. I mean, they do the work on the food plots, cutting down trees, cleaning trails, doing whatever we have to do. I always told them, I said, you shoot whatever makes you happy. So, you know, that first buck was a big deal. First buck with a bow. Then, you know, your next one, you try to get a little bit bigger. And then, you know, everybody makes mistakes and you get excited, and you should never lose that thrill. I mean, if you don't get buck fever, that's what it's all about right there is trying to let the wildlife on your property reach its full potential. Yeah. That's what being a gamekeeper is all about.
It is, exactly.
We always say, what did we learn? And I think if a guy paid attention, you can learn a lot from Kevin just by the way he lives his life and the intensity that he goes about whatever he's doing.
Especially when you can blend career, passion, what you love the most, with, you know, that connection with nature like that. They done, to me, a fuller life does not exist.
Well, Kevin, we've been thrilled to have you as a guest.
Yeah, we've been thrilled to have you as a brother. I can tell you that right now.
Love to be part of the family, man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, guys.
Guys, we appreciate y'all listening to our podcast, and we'll be back next week. So why don't you say goodbye, Dudley?
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here, Mac.